Like out of 100, I think it was 54. A2. Like I didn't expect myself to get an A2, but then like because our major exam before O levels was just Sec 3 FTE, and I only joined in Sec 4. So I didn't really know how much I had like properly like improved and stuff. So only after I did some like TYS papers and stuff, I was like, okay, I am doing like better. I honestly thought that bio, I was under the like wrong illusion that bio is just a game of memorizing. So my school would give me like really long PowerPoint slides on like every single topic, and I would just be memorizing it like by heart. So I would when my friends would just be like doing like questions and stuff, I would go into the exam just by memorizing everything. So my content was like rock solid. I knew everything. But then the questions were never just only just regurgitate like memorizing and then you just like spit it out. It's always application questions. Then I finally like hit on me that what am I doing? Like everyone else is like doing test papers. I was just doing memorizing. So then I would always get bad marks because I'm only memorizing and my content was sort of all over the place. I would just simply memorize everything they gave us. So example about the P's, George Mendel. Yeah, I didn't know what was the important stuff. I would just not take a risk and do everything. I think everything became more specific and organized. Example, Mr. Key's notes. So that the thing, how that benefited was that I knew, okay, this is what is important. Like I wasn't no longer just like blind and doing anything and everything which is like I had. It was more like, okay, this is what I should focus on. So like through Mr. Key's notes, it's much more organized and it's like already ready for you. So it really saved my time. And then because of the so many practice papers on the Google Drive, my school will only give 2 practice papers of the last year. So then that was really beneficial because now I knew, okay, this is how to apply my content. And then because of that, I also like started to like the subject a lot more. Like it's no longer just memorizing. It's now, okay, I got to understand properly. This is what I do. That's how the notes benefited. Many people might not say this, but it's a much more friendly like atmosphere, I would say. One thing is that the good thing of like you being younger in a way, like you being a young teacher, is that it's no longer like a very it's not like, oh, it's not a professional environment. No, it really is. But like the simple things matter, like during lessons, the 5 minutes of break, or the Kahoot lessons. Like I've never had a teacher which does Kahoot lessons, but Kahoot lessons are fun as well. And then also every now and then you would say like, oh, like after the examinations we can do something together, or I'll give you guys a treat. Like these simple things like really like creates the environment that, okay, like it's no longer just student teacher. It's also like we need something to like motivate us. We can feel that like presence of, oh, someone genuinely like understands us. So that's really good. Example, when I compare to my other chemistry tuitions compared to Mr. Key's bio tuition, I would think like it's much more personalized. It's no longer just like a teacher teaching like 20 students, 50 students. It's like it has its own personal touch. The way is that one way he like makes sure that there is effective communication. He allows us to like talk a lot. During lessons, he would always ask for our own opinion. So in the Zoom, in the meeting chat, whenever he asks a question, we would genuinely wait for the answers for students. It's no longer just the teacher is just saying, and like no, it's just we're listening. It's a much more interactive. That really stands out. It like makes us feel like, okay, yeah, we're genuinely included in this. Another thing I said this earlier, but 100% like on the phone when we can ask a lot of questions outside of the lessons. It's really good. You can do outside of the lessons. Like, okay, she's also my teacher outside of the lessons, because like we all always have questions outside of like every single day. So we need to ask and get them clarified. And honestly, some of our school teachers may not be that helpful. Mr. T is much more caring in a way. He's young, so he can really understand our problems that we're going through. My chemistry tutor, he blocked me online because I asked him too many questions. But this was the extreme opposite. So I would always ask like questions and I would get my answers really quick. So that's one really beneficial thing. Like even a few days before my exams, when the stress level is really high, I just know that like, okay, there's someone there who can actually like help me. It was really, really helpful. I mean, I never felt that like like connection with like a teacher before. It's always like I'm sitting next to a 50-year-old man. He's just 1.5 hours just talking. I'm listening. This was much of an interactive thing. It was no longer just student teacher. Like, and then it was very personalized. Whenever I need help, there's always someone there. I don't have to like wait for a long time, like wait for 3-4 days and then I get a response. It's always there for me. It's really, really helpful. Everything is much more organized. It really like, and also the atmosphere is much more like stress-free in a way. it's light atmosphere. It really helps for O-level students when they enter the class, and it's no longer just, another 2 hours of bio. No, it's like, okay, yeah, I can do something. There'll be Kahoot lessons, there'll be like talks and stuff. That one I really like. So yeah, it was really good, really helpful. Start early, like genuinely, just really start early. I have friends who really worked hard, but only like during prelims and onwards, and they ended up getting like 24 for L1R5. And I saw how much hard work they put in, but it's too late. You can't. I thought I'll start February, but that was not feasible at all because that's too early. You still have new content to learn, W1, W2. I would say really start early. June holidays is not the time for fun. Once your W2 ends, maybe take 4 days off, chill. After that, that's a proper grind. Be organized, create a timetable. I wrote it down like, okay, these days chemistry, these days bio, these days everything. And I think really take the advice of like your seniors, really like, because they know how to tackle everything. So yeah, really start early. It really lightens the stress. I would say you have those Quizlet flashcards. So to go to my school, I take 1 hour. So 2 hours every single day. So I wouldn't just like listen to music. Like that's not what the type of person I am. I want to do something. It's 1 whole hour, 2 whole hours. So I would use the Quizlet flashcards, and those are really beneficial because it's really fast. It's really like you just know or you don't know. So it's really beneficial. So that one, the Quizlet flashcards are very good. And then I also downloaded the notes on my phone. Through that, I would just memorize the CAQs, the commonly asked questions, when going and coming back. So that's what I really like about the resources. Also about the practical, like my school would really neglect practicals in a way, like they wouldn't care so much about it. They would just be like, okay, like just memorize the techniques and that's it. But then to the resources that like Mr. Key provides, you have a lot of practice papers for practicals. So I think that really benefited. I had a lot more exposure. I think mainly I would do the content on your notes first. Right after that, I'll just do the CAQs. Like I'll make sure the CAQs I know, because at the end, like the O-level paper, a good at least like it may not sound a lot, but like 15% was definitely CAQs, 15-20%, and that's like really a lot. Like when you think about it. So my mom at that time was like at home, so she would like be sitting in front of the computer screen, and I would just be like saying the CAQ. She'd be saying the CAQ questions, I would say the answers, and then after that, I would do the TYS topical. Topical TYS is really important. And after all that, nearing the O-levels, I did those many papers on the Google Drive. Once I joined the ThatBioTutor, because like I realized it was no longer just the game of content. The first day when I joined, I went to the Google Drive, I checked all the practice papers, and I was like, it was not just no longer focusing on content anymore. And then like when I would see the practice papers or like the homework like you would provide, it was no longer just the CAQs. It was more application. That's when it like triggered, like maybe that's why other people study lesser than me still get much better than me marks. So I was like, that really helped me have a self-reflection.